There's been a fresh twist in the ongoing saga surrounding Jonathan Kuminga, and it's stirring up quite a bit of buzz around the league. A new team has reportedly thrown their hat into the ring for a sign-and-trade deal involving Kuminga, which could shake up the landscape more than we initially thought. Up until now, everything seemed pretty much at a standstill, no major moves, no real progress. But with this latest development, things might be shifting under the surface. So who's this mysterious new suitor, and what does it mean for the Warriors and the rest of the market? We're diving into all of that right now. On top of that, it's been nearly a week since we last broke down the free agency madness, trades, buyouts, all the chaos that comes with this time of year. The market has evolved, and it's time for a reset. If Golden State doesn't end up landing Kuminga, who else is still on the board? And if they do manage to secure him, what's left over to build around him? Steph Curry and Draymond Green. How would it all fit within the salary cap constraints and roster needs? There's a lot to unpack, and it's more complex than it looks at first glance. Meanwhile, the NBA Summer League is currently underway in Las Vegas, and the Warriors have been battling it out on the court. As of this recording, which is happening on a Thursday, Golden State sits at 2 wins and 1 loss. They pulled off a solid victory on Tuesday night against the Memphis Grizzlies with a final score of 96-84. Summer League might not be the main stage, but it's always fun to track the young talent and get glimpses of how the future might shape up. Plus, it's a useful backdrop to understand how these new players are meshing. The Warriors have one more game left in the Summer League regular season, going up against the Toronto Raptors. This is particularly interesting because the Raptors were the team that knocked out Golden State in the NBA Finals a few years back. The Summer League format is pretty cutthroat. Only 2 teams make it to the championship game. And right now, teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder's young squad, the Sacramento Kings, and the Minnesota Timberwolves all boast undefeated records at 4-0. The Warriors, on the other hand, with their 2-1 record, can at best finish 3-1. Unfortunately, that means they won't be playing for the Summer League title this year. Instead, they'll get a 5th game on the schedule, but it's just a consolation matchup, a way to round out the Summer League slate. Now, turning back to the main event, the news on the free agent and trade front. The biggest headline recently has been the Los Angeles Clippers signing Bradley Beal. This move came after Beal was bought out by the Phoenix Suns, freeing him up to join the Clippers on a 2-year deal. Reports indicate that Beal gave up about $14 million to facilitate the buyout, which allowed him to sign for $11 million over 2 years, with a player option for the second season. This means he can decide whether to stick around for that second year or test free agency again. The contract structure is smart because it spreads the salary cap hit over several years, similar to the approach the Milwaukee Bucks took with Damian Lillard. This kind of maneuvering gives teams more flexibility to sign or trade players while managing their cap space strategically. For the Warriors, this signing by the Clippers raises interesting questions about their own roster construction. Golden State has been looking for a reliable backup point guard for a while now, and names like Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook have popped up in rumors. Could Chris Paul return to the Bay Area? Would Westbrook be a fit alongside Curry and the rest? Some fans and analysts have even speculated about Ben Simmons possibly filling that role as a backup, given his versatile skill set. All of this ties back into how the Suns roster is adjusting after the Beal buyout and the Clippers' addition of such a high-profile guard. Speaking of the Suns, they now seem to be the latest team expressing interest in a sign-and-trade for Kuminga. Sources have revealed that Phoenix has contacted both Kuminga's representatives and the Warriors to make their intentions clear. This move follows right on the heels of their completion of the Bradley Beal buyout, which not only freed up roster space but also stretched out the financial burden of Beal's contract. It puts the Suns in a better position to potentially pull off a trade like this, although it's still a complicated scenario to navigate. To understand the feasibility of such a trade, we need to look closely at Phoenix's current salary cap situation. As it stands, they are around $0.1 million below the luxury tax threshold, about $8.6 million under the first apron, and more than $20 million under the second apron. This improved financial flexibility is key because if they were above the second apron, their ability to execute sign-and trades would be significantly restricted. The departure of Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal has made a huge difference in their salary structure, giving them more room to maneuver, but they still need to be cautious. Looking at Phoenix's roster and payroll, it's clear they have some valuable pieces, but not necessarily a wealth of tradable assets that would make this deal simple. The recent acquisitions of Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks from Houston complicate things, as those players are integral parts of their rotation. It's tough to imagine the Suns parting with Green, and while Brooks and Draymond Green might not be a perfect fit together, the Suns would have to consider their options carefully. Kuminga's potential contract is expected to fall somewhere between $15 and $25 million, maybe less to stay under the apron, which suggests the deal would have to be structured around something in the $10 to $15 million range to work as a sign and trade. There are other Suns players like Grayson Allen who have had flashes of strong shooting, especially from beyond the arc, but it's unclear if they would be the centerpiece of a trade like this. The Suns' willingness to part with draft picks is also limited given the number of moves they have already made recently, which further narrows their options on Golden State's side. They have also shown interest in bringing back Anthony Melton, who is recovering from an ACL injury sustained last season before his injury. Melton and Curry formed one of the best backcourt duos the Warriors have had in recent years. The big question remains how well Melton will bounce back from such a serious injury and if he's ready and willing to return to the Warriors. The options at point guard outside of the core remain slim, making any addition valuable but tricky to pull off. Scanning the broader free agent landscape, the list of quality players still available is shrinking fast. There are names like Al Horford, who's weighing retirement or possibly a return to a familiar team. Other players like Josh Giddey have hit some rough patches in contract talks, which could open up opportunities for sign and trades. Giddey is roughly the same age as Kuminga and on a similar contract timeline, which makes a swap between those two an intriguing possibility for Golden State. The need for a dedicated backup point guard is clear, given that Steph Curry often handles multiple roles on the floor, which can wear him down over a long season. Veterans like Patty Mills and Seth Curry are out there, but the overall talent pool doesn't present many blockbuster options. With the Suns lacking significant draft capital to sweeten any deal, it's unlikely they'll part with a first-round pick for Kuminga. This means the Warriors will have to get creative. The two most likely scenarios for Kuminga's future seem to be either him accepting a qualifying offer and betting on himself next offseason, or signing a 2-year deal aligned with Curry, Draymond, and Butler, including a player option in the third year to keep flexibility. For now, the market remains mostly quiet, with no definitive movement in the Kuminga case. The summer league action, roster tweaks, and salary cap gymnastics all provide important context. But until something concrete happens, we're left waiting to see how this story unfolds. The dynamics are complex, with teams trying to balance financial rules, player fit, and long-term strategy in a league where every move can have ripple effects. As we watch this Kuminga story develop, it's clear that the Warriors are walking a tightrope, trying to balance patience with urgency. Kuminga is still a young player with loads of upside. He's got the athleticism, the length, and the versatility that any team would love to have. But the contract negotiations and potential sign and trade scenarios are anything but simple. The Warriors are known for their savvy front office, but this is a puzzle with many moving pieces, and every decision has to be weighed carefully against salary cap restrictions and roster chemistry. One thing that can't be overlooked is the broader landscape of player movement across the league this offseason. Free agency has been wild, with teams shifting pieces left and right, some doubling down on star power, while others are rebuilding with youth and draft picks. The Warriors find themselves in a unique position because they're a championship caliber team, but they need that perfect mix of role players and bench depth to support their core stars. Kuminga could be a vital part of that mix if things fall into place. But with no trade finalized yet, the window for other teams to step in is still open. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers around the NBA have started to buzz louder, and the latest rumblings suggest a major move brewing in Golden State. According to several sources close to the league, the Warriors could be on the verge of signing the sensational young talent, JALEN Williams, to a 4-year deal. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the chatter among insiders points to a potentially groundbreaking addition to the Warriors roster, one that could reshape the team's future dynamics. JALEN Williams, often described as a phenom in scouting circles, has caught the eyes of analysts and fans alike with his remarkable skill set and explosive potential. At just 22 years old, Williams has shown an uncanny ability to impact games on both ends of the floor, blending agility, shooting prowess, and defensive intensity. His versatility fits perfectly with the Warriors' style of play and up-tempo offense driven by sharpshooting and relentless ball movement. The possibility of a 4-year commitment from the Warriors signals a strategic investment in youth and long-term growth. After years of building around their core of established stars, Golden State may be shifting gears to integrate fresh talent, capable of sustaining the team's success in the coming seasons. Williams' arrival could be a harbinger of that transition, injecting energy and a new dimension into the squad. Fans have already started speculating on how Williams would fit alongside the Warriors' key players. His ability to stretch the floor and create mismatches could complement the sharpshooting of Stephen Curry and the playmaking of Klay Thompson, potentially easing the offensive load while strengthening the team's defensive schemes. The Warriors have always thrived on chemistry and unselfish play, and Williams' reputation as a team-first player aligns well with that philosophy. The buzz intensifies when considering the Warriors' ambitions to reclaim their status as championship contenders. Adding a player of Williams' caliber could be the missing piece in a roster that has seen its share of ups and downs. Though the official announcement remains pending, the rumor mills suggest that Golden State is prepared to invest heavily in this promising prospect. As the offseason heats up, all eyes will be on the Warriors' front office to see if they pull the trigger on this rumored deal. Should the signing go through, it would mark a significant chapter in the team's ongoing evolution, potentially securing their place among the NBA's elite for years to come. Until then, the NBA community watches with bated breath, wondering if JALEN Williams will indeed become the newest Warrior in Golden State's storied legacy. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.